Hey guys, what's up? I've come to a realization today. Um, you know how it always seems like whatever generation you basically grow up from, that's the generation that you hold on to, the styles, the music, the movies. For instance, like your parents, they always tend, to, if they grew up in the 60s and 70s, that's the kind of music that they hold to, and so on. Well, I've, often thought about that, and I've been watching movies primarily from the 80s all day today. Some from the 90s, but mainly the 80s. And I've come to the realization that, those movies that always seemed so epic back then are really pretty bad in contrast to later movies. Um, and maybe it's just that, kicking in about the whole your era or whatever, but in my opinion, it really seems like the better movies are from the 90s. And it's not just my opinion, it's the fact of, the 80s movies had pretty decent stories, but, the acting and stuff was pretty shoddy back then. And even if you go back to the earlier, even the movies from, the late 40s and early 50s, the black and white movies, uh, there's a lot of great movies, but the actors are still pretty, stone faced. There's not really a lot of emotion, and when there is, it's kind of, cheesy. And you move on to the 80s, and it's even more cheesier. And then you fast forward to, 2000, and the movies seem to be more about special effects and stuff than the actual, meat and potatoes of it. It really seems to me like the 90s were the best time for movies because not only were they well acted, the movies actually had some substance to them about it. And you don't really see that today. The movies today are more about special effects and, just rehashing old stuff. The 90s to me were truly original movies and they were well acted. Same as the music. Even the grunge era was a little bit better music. It was honest and true, stripped down music, and whereas today is, a throwback to the 80s and all this other stuff. So that's just something I've noticed today. But in my opinion, I truly think that the 90s were really probably the best time for the arts. Bye.